Magic here with another short topic video. Today's topic is going to be about the original sin and the tree of knowledge of good and evil. And yes, marijuana. I know, it's going to be great. But before you get your panties in a bunch, and fellas, before you get your Fruit of the Looms or Hanes wadded up your ass, just realize this is a personal theory. I have done some research to back up my claims. Am I right? I'm not saying that. This is just a theory, so take it for what it is. On that note, let's begin with the topic. So let's be honest, we have all heard that marijuana is a gateway drug. Do I smoke marijuana? Why, yes, I do. I prefer it for pain than any other substance, including alcohol, which is legal. Not saying weed isn't legal in some states, but not all. To understand my claims about marijuana being the tree of knowledge of good and evil, let's look into the history of the plant itself in America. It was legal to purchase via a pharmacy back in the early 1900s. But so was heroin, and even cocaine was put in soda, but that's another story. I guess I would like to start with prohibition, because making alcohol illegal is what demonized cannabis in the first place. See, almost every ethnicity hung out in speakeasies. It was the only place to go to get you a drink. And that's where jazz music was born. Big swing bands performed by black musicians. And white people loved that music. I love jazz music. It's great music. Nothing like hearing a good piano and a saxophone and trumpets and big drum lines all coming together. I'm a musician. Who won it? But white racist bigots, after alcohol became legal again, wanted to say the reason white people still hung out with African Americans is because of that jazz cabbage, that devil's lettuce, and they even put a propaganda film out called Reefer Madness, which tried to say that marijuana gave white people psychosis. But the biggest claim they tried to say was that it made white women desire black men for sex. So in 1937, our own government tried to make marijuana so high in a tax that it was basically hard to sell anymore. And then, of course, come the 1960s and 70s with the war on drugs and Nixon and his bullshit, it became completely illegal. It was not criminalized up until that point. Now, where do I get that marijuana may be the tree of knowledge of good and evil? Well, marijuana has its evil faults and its beneficial factors, such as drug cartels do murder people to try to smuggle cannabis into our states. It's a known fact that almighty dollar, greed, wins every time. But yes, cannabis does help someone even like myself who has epilepsy or pain, and it has medical benefits to it. So I'm not saying it's completely evil. I'm not saying it's completely good. It can be both. The reason I say that it might be the tree of knowledge of good and evil is NASA itself came out a couple years ago and stated that they looked at the genes inside a marijuana plant, and there is DNA inside marijuana that does not originate here on Earth. It is extraterrestrial. They do not know where it comes from. So I figure maybe marijuana was God's crop. God told Adam and Eve, "This tree is my personal stash. Do not get into it." And the serpent, being the serpent, knowing that that's some good shit, came down and whispered into Eve's ear, "Hey, you want to smoke some of this shit?" And she fell for it, and the rest is history. I do know that the fruit that came from that tree is not an apple, or a tomato, or a strawberry, which has all been claims throughout history of being the fruit. Which, here's another history knowledge fact for you. The closest related plant to a marijuana plant is a strawberry. So is there some link to that? Possibly. Do I love weed? I love weed. It brings out my creativity, it helps my pain, it helps me so I can eat. Do I know that it was the first substance that I ever tried? before I ever tried any other substance in this world? Yes. So, in a way, I do personally believe it is a gateway drug. Because most people who start with weed do move on to harder substances. Now, I have Native American in me, and Native Americans smoked tobacco originally to ease the ancestors inside them. It literally possesses their mind and calms their nerves. Well, I used to be an ex-junkie out in California doing methamphetamine, and I was up for a very long time, and I started talking to myself. But myself told me it was the devil, and it gave me a little knowledge itself, and told me that meth was invented by Hitler, that it was made by scientists to make his army super. I thought it was a lie in my head, so the next day I went and did research, and well, come to find out, it was true. And did I quit meth right away? No. Have I been clean and sober 7 years? Yes, thankfully. But I realized what the voice inside my head was trying to say. I literally allowed this substance to possess me. It is taking over my life. It has made me sold my objects. It has made me lose family and friends. It was killing me. It even gave me a thought one day. Well, is meth, like any other substance, a possession? And I thought about my Uncle Kenny. He was a great man until he drank those spirits. Up until that point, I never called alcohol, booze, spirits. But I did realize the moment he put those spirits inside him, those spirits took over. So, does cannabis do the same to you? Like tobacco does for Native Americans, or meth did to me and literally told me that it was a possession that I allowed inside me? Like I said, this is just a theory. Some of y'all may be mad at me for what I'm stating. Some of y'all may be understandable. Either way, I don't care. It's a personal belief. Am I going to stop smoking weed? Fuck no. But do I want to drop some knowledge for people? Yes. Once again, I'm Magic. I love you all. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, share my content, and tell your friends to subscribe. I'm also on Facebook at Magic222 as well. Again, blessed be to all, and go smoke some weed.